Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to the TV Terminal. My name is Adam Bale, Senior Editor over at thecoalition.com.
And I'm Josh Lamage, writer for the Coalition.
All right, people, this is new series, Gen V. We are here for season 2. We will be doing a full breakdown, recap, review for episodes 1, 2, and 3. A lot. Get ready for 15 hours. This is going to be awesome. Oh, no. He's right. We are keeping this, people, under an hour for all 3. So if you have not watched it, just know that's what we're covering. I'll see if I can put chapters at the bottom so that way you guys can skip to episode 2 and 3 and so on. Try to get that going for you. But hey, a lot of new people have subbed up and commented and jumped in on the other shows that we have running here. So figure I just every time we start a new show, just give you guys a little heads up of how we do things here. All right, so we watch the episodes together in real time. Josh and I, or Lawrence, we watch it, we take our notes, and then just like a discussion with you and your buddies, right after you watch a show or a movie, we go through the whole thing, we give our thoughts in the process, and then we review right at the end, what do we think of the episode overall and how the show is developing. In this case, we're going to be doing the 1, 2, and 3. There's a lot here, right? But like I said, we're keeping this under an hour. So this isn't going to be some big to-do, and I can't take it. I don't like that. I hate when it's like, oh, you're watching a review breakdown for some shows, and next you know it's like 2-3 hours in. It's like, come on now. We already watched all this. Don't need to cover every little detail, but let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. So I just wanted to let everybody know, okay? Safe space, free space. You got some questions, got some issues. Maybe we missed something. Maybe you want to add something. Your own thoughts, theories, go ahead, put in the comments. That's what it's all about. Josh, you said it best when we talked about what this whole process is, the show, the channel, that this is like a book club, but with TV, right?
Yes, sir. Keeping everybody engaged, following what's new. I know some things are, behind paywalls and subscriptions. I mean, if you like following along and you like listening to us tell these stories and stuff, that's, I guess, another way of viewing it and supporting these shows. But I mean, this show right now is a pretty big show. Maybe not as huge as The Boys, but it's pretty entertaining, pretty good. So I'm excited to dive into season 2.
Yeah, it took a while. We had a main character pass away tragically during a motorcycle accident, right? That was Andre. Oh man, I wrote his name down. I already blanked on it, but the actor passed. It was horrible. And so I know that took some time for the show to rewrite, figure out where they were going to go in a direction. And I think from what we've seen,
Chance Perdomo.
There we go, Chance Perdomo. Oh man, R.I.P. It's tragic. It's tragic. So it took some time for the show to come back, but hey, they pulled it off. And let's dive in. Again, just wanted to give you a quick thank you. You guys know how it works. Comment, like, subscribe, jump in. It's going to be cool. Let's do this. All right, Josh, let's get this party started.
So the first episode is called For Chance. And we start off with a flashback. We're in 1967. A bunch of doctors are standing around each other. They all look like they're about to take some vials of Compound V. And we see this guy running in. He's yelling, "They're not ready. They're not ready." This actor's Ethan Slater. You may know him from Wicked, or he also played in SpongeBob the musical.
And he's got some drama that you informed me of. I did not know.
Yeah, there was this whole thing with him and Ariana Grande. I guess they're good now and everyone's happy. But yeah, he was never for that for a hot second.
All right.
But yeah, it's him. So it's funny to see him in the show kind of randomly. But he's banging on the door. He's trying to get in. He finally gets into the room with all the doctors, but some of them already took it. They're all just start vomiting blood. Some people are melting off. This one guy has and this seems to be a common theme in this show, but like stuff with the butt, man. Like
there's a lot of butt action. A lot of butt action. We saw later on a dude crawls out of someone's ass. This show is all over the place. But man,
so some guy had some tentacles coming out, and everyone was freaking out. There was a fire going on.
Yeah, and, another dude caught on fire. He just turned into a human torch. but not intentional. And it was a mess. It's gruesome, but this is what The Boys is known for, and definitely Gen V continues on with that, with the gore.
But we find out that this guy on his name tag is Dr. T. Godolkin. So, Godolkin University, God University, right? So he's, that main person that we're thinking of that we don't know much about just yet.
Well, it makes sense because he's the only one that survived out of all these doctors that were involved. I don't know why they would all decide to take these vials if they weren't fully tested. This is why they test things on animals, insects, other.
Hey, look, it's 1967 in this. They're just trying to turn up, I guess. They wanted superpowers. They thought it would be easy.
Everybody wants the powers, want the glow, Bruce Leroy style. You can't do it. Sorry, just hold off.
We see a news reference about Homelander protecting all the superheroes. A lot of tension between humans and supes. So some stuff piggybacking off the last season of The Boys. So, I mean, not that you have to catch up to it, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, they do a good job, and it's a smart marketing for the producers of the show to do this tie-in, because then those who have not watched The Boys that are just watching Gen V, I don't know these people, because most people know Gen V because of The Boys. They see the tie-in, but yeah, it flip-flops. They sure to throw you into The Boys, showing you stuff.
Some people didn't know about that. Like, I was talking to my friend about this, and he was like, "Yeah, I love The Boys," and I was like, "Oh yeah, we're doing the show Gen V." He's like, "What's that?"
Stop making up
I was
stuff.
like, "Bro,
why you always
come on,
lying to me?"
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I was like, it's a spin-off of it, kind of tie-in, So, yeah.
I mean, to the devil's advocate here, it has been a few years, so it's not like, oh, it was just last year. You don't remember? It was a big deal. The show, no. It's but some people don't know.
We get this whole propaganda video talking about all this stuff with, like, again, the subs, Vought, people against each other. I mean, very similar to like some things that are going on now politically. But we have a new dean in the school, and his name is Cipher.
Cipher, guy likes to rap in the halls. Run your mouth, boy.
Cipher is a big question mark at this moment. We'll obviously dive into a couple things about him that we've noticed later. But right in the beginning here, we have Jordan Lee. As you know, they have the power to shift into, I guess, genders, and they use.
We'll just say now. I mean, she says she's not trans; she's just gender, right? Gender neutral. I think that's what bi-gender. That's it. She says she's bi-gender. She's not trans. That's what she told Stacy.
Yeah, it's different because I guess she could switch on command, but they're kind of wanting them to like represent, I guess, trans community, which is
like, too bad.
Which is cool. Yeah. But I guess they find a little issue with that because it's kind of disingenuous. But we find them being taken out of a center, I guess, where they were being held, because in the last season we ended up in a prison cell kind of thing where they were all just kind of locked up, and that's how the show ended.
At a medical facility, all this craziness happened. Remember, Sam became this crazy. It was a whole big thing. I'm sure people don't need a full recap on season 1. They know, but yeah, it was wild. It was definitely a wild ending to that season.
They throw Jordan in the truck, and we see Emma in there, who we also known as what was it, Little Cricket or something like that?
Little Cricket, yeah, Little Cricket.
So she's in the truck, and then they're like, "What's going on here?" They sit next to each other. They kind of like hold on to each other. They wake up in the morning, and we see Cate. And as you remember from the last season, Cate had some manipulative issues going on with her powers and deceiving everybody. And then she got her hand blown off, so you could see that like one arm is not there. And all of a sudden, she's playing all nice.
I mean, she was doing a lot of shady stuff. At first, she was with Golden Boy. Then he offed himself. And then she got with Andre, who was Golden Boy's best friend. And some people found issues with that. We found out that with her power, she can manipulate people. She touches you. She wants you to believe something. And poof, that's it. You know, it was that horrible story with her brother. Remember when she just said, "I want you to leave," and they were camping as a family trip, and he wandered off. They never found him. That was heartbreaking. That was horrible.
That's a crazy power.
That is a crazy.
Some of these powers are like, it's so funny because like I always play these games with friends or like some of my students and stuff, where I'll be like, if you had a superpower, what would it be? And you always think of like the basics. So, I can fly, invisible. Like this show has like such niche powers. Like you find this guy that can remember every single detail of everything. It's wild. But
I would want that power. That I would want.
But Cate's like, okay, where's Andre? And then they're like, read my mind, like find out what happened to him. Like, and you hear like screaming, and she's like all shocked and stuff. Obviously we don't see this scene because this storyline was obviously, reworked in the light of his tragic passing. But and it's surprising how much of a main point his character is so far in this narrative.
So far for the past 3 episodes, it constantly gets brought up, and it's always to fill in another character. So it's one thing to say. Usually when shows keep bringing up or repeat their certain dialogue or for a story element, they'll do it off camera. After they do it the first time, then they're like, okay, let me fill you in, and then cut, you go somewhere else, you go back to them, then you already know they've been filled in. But no, this show just brings it up again. Oh, he died. How did he die? Well, he was bending the pole and his heart and this and that.
It was weird because it was like more facts are coming out, but then it was like people like they know, and they're just like, we're not saying anything. Like right here, they're both like, yeah, we're not telling you, like, read my mind and figure it out. So I was wondering if it was something like more dramatic or someone like murdered him technically in the story. We'll dive into that in just a sec. But
yeah.
Boom, she brings them back into school. Cate brings them back. Now all of a sudden they're thrown to the press, right?
Yeah, press there. Welcome back to God You. Yay. This is gonna be great.
They had to flip the whole narrative, which is a common theme in The Boys. It's so funny, the whole like social aspect of everything, and it really puts into perspective of like kind of like the reality of superstars and pop stars and things like that. So they're reading things off the teleprompter and like kind of just winging through this whole idea that they were held captive and then they escaped and this whole thing, and now they're heroes. And that Marie, as you remember, who had blood powers, she escaped somehow and she's gone missing and everyone's looking for her.
Yeah. Well, they had to go and do that. They had to make up some stuff. And during this whole time, Cate is just a little freaked out because she still can't believe it. She can't believe it with the whole thing with Andre. But hey, that happened. We get introduced to, you're going to bring the Cipher?
Yeah, well, I was going to say the Cipher comes into play, and he's very, very mysterious guy, very soft spoken, but you could tell he's very, there's something going on with him way deeper and darker. But he brings out a lot of like anti-human stuff. And I mean, I remember in The Boys there was a lot of talk of like, being in favor of humans in the polls and things like that. Now this show seems very divisive, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing with all the stuff coming out with the supes and what they can do, and there was those who were against it, and they bring a lot of the stories from The Boys over here. We'll get into it with Starlight. Yeah, with Starlighters coming in and the Homelanders and people that are siding with either side and feuding in the streets. It's a thing, it's people picking a political view and side, and they jump into that in this show. And Cipher already says, hey, the humans, in a later part of the episode, but it's so relevant to bring up now. He says they outnumber us. They don't like us. They don't want us. So we have to look out for ourselves.
Yeah. And they're talking about how their blood is bought blue. Like they're really accepting, I guess, the whole, they're not born superheroes. They're kind of made them, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it's just one of them is like, let's go and tell Andre's father. Let's go tell him about what happened, as if he didn't know, or,
Yeah, Mr. Anderson. Yeah.
Mr. Anderson, Polarity is a superhero name. I think there's a statue of him. He's pretty well known as well. And he had similar powers to Andre, which is a storyline that I guess they could kind of piggyback off of, where like anytime he uses his powers, it gave like micro lesions in his brain. So
now that's the weird connection with all this is for the first season. That was an issue. Andre had that connection with his dad. When he would use his powers, he would feel weak, and his dad was already dealing with some health issues. And there was that whole idea that if something happened to his dad, something would happen to Andre. And I really thought after the passing of the actor that they were just going to go with that. And it's like, oh, well, then but then you would have to say that the father passed away. Because then they could have said that. It's like during the whole process, the father had passed away, which caused Andre to pass. But they didn't do that. They went a different direction. But yeah, that seed was planted that there was already something wrong in him. And that comes up in I think the second or third
which
episode.
worked out, I guess, for them in the storyline.
Yeah.
Then Cate goes into Cipher's office, and this is where it's very telling of what I think his powers are. He has a blender, and he's putting like chicken and milk and like just like random assortment of things in the blender. And Cate comes in, and she's like, he was my friend. How could you tell me? How could you not tell me that he passed away? And he's kind of deflecting the whole thing. And he's like, aren't you a movie star? Like, why do you care about all this and that? And then she's like, well, if you don't do something, I'm going to ask Homelander. He's like, yeah, call Homelander, see what happens. Which just seems like a thread that he uses a lot in these episodes. Like, what's home?
That came up again later on.
Yeah.
With the whole thing. It was like, oh, call him. All right, well, how's he going to react to this? And what's he going to say? Oh, yeah, hello. Yeah.
So obviously, Cate being curious, she wants to find out. So she goes to, I guess, put her arm on Cipher to read his mind and see deeper into things, right? He grabs her arm and goes to put it in the blender, and she starts screaming. And he says this. He says, don't try to mess with my mind because he won't like it.
Yeah.
Something in this guy's like the Hulk or Jekyll and Hyde type of thing going on as far as his character.
Yeah, it could be. Shout out to the Goonies. That's what triggered in my head. If you remember the Goonies when they grabbed the chum's hand to put it in the blender, that was a big trigger. I know for my wife, she can't watch that movie because of that scene. It was traumatic for her as a kid and even now. So, but yeah, that's the only time I've ever seen that happen where they're trying to shove someone's hand in there. But it could be. And what we see, what was it? You brought up the whole Hulk connection, and maybe he's his own version.
I think so.
And we find out, we'll bring it up in episode, I think it was 2, or is it 3? Maybe no, I think it was 3. But when we get to it, where we see a particular room, that maybe that's where the person goes when it's about that time to switch, not to cause as much damage. That's what I got in my head. But talking about switching, we move over. Now we see Marie. Marie is in a store in a gas station. This is a very popular gas station out in Jersey, just for the show. I'm just saying, because they pop up in this gas station numerous times. It seems to be the only one in town.
Weehawken? Was it Weehawken, New Jersey?
Yeah, I think maybe that's it. But
she's looking at a bunch of different things. She looks at different items, and then she goes up to the register to pay, and she's realizing that she doesn't have enough money. She's like $2 short, and this guy comes up to her and he's like, hey, I got you. He's like, you're gonna want to eat this stuff. It's it's good, it's high in fiber. Like, he's being nice to her, so he helps her pay for it. And then she goes home, or I guess like she's staying somewhere, and she's looking for her sister. You could see her calling all these different places trying to find Annabeth. If you remember from before, when I guess she discovered her power, she accidentally killed her parents, and it became this whole thing as far as guardianship of the daughter and of her sister and that. So
yeah. And she's trying to find out. If you remember how that whole thing happened, it was a little sister. That's traumatizing, and I get it. When they showed the story of just the little sister being taken away, obviously having to go to foster, her parents were just killed by Marie by accident, of course, but still, and she's looking for it. But I don't know if that's the best thing for this young kid, because that's terrifying.
I guess it's just like it's a big point for her, a big question mark. It's the closest thing she has to family, right? So I don't know if she wants to make things right. Obviously, maybe in her mind, obviously she knows that her sister might not see her in the best light. But then we see on the TV that Crazy Sam from the last season is now an actor. Like everyone, I guess everybody at this thing becomes an actor at some point, right?
Yeah, it's an actor. It's dating Justine, who is the YouTuber podcaster. That's the one that outed M. That was the thing about her throwing up and all that stuff. So yeah, they're a thing. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised we even see Sam on this level because remember he was locked up.
Yeah,
He was really
right
listed
on.
as the wackadoodle, but now he's just one of the students. They just have him roaming around like nothing happened.
But keep in mind, he's also had help from Cate, who's able to like kind of silence a lot of that craziness that he's experiencing.
So
So
maybe, yeah.
he's
She
able to
touches
tone it
him.
down and be normal a little bit. But then also, Marie sees Jordan and Emma on TV, and she's like, "What? Like they got out?"
Yeah, surprised by that whole thing. Oh man, it was a lot going on there. Are we at the party now? We're getting ready for this party.
She's walking near the area, I guess the motel that she's staying at, and she sees this the same guy that gave her the $2 being harassed by a group of guys. And they're like, "This is Homelander country. Like, we don't want you here." Like, they're fighting with him because those guys are actually in support.
Well, of Homelander, they start calling him a Starlighter and all this stuff, and she can't take it. She walks up to them. Very shocking that the first thing the guy does is just punch her in the face. I wasn't expecting that. Maybe they would shove Marie away or say something, but no, he just punches her right in the face. She goes down, she gets up, and she uses her blood powers. She cuts herself and takes all of them down real quick. And that was it. And then walks off.
And then when the same guy looks at her, he's like, "Wait, aren't you?" And she turns to him and she's like, "I'm nobody." And then she walks off.
That's it. But clearly somebody was filming it because that's what at least they said happened, right? It went viral. Somebody was sharing the video. That's how they found.
Yeah, they've seen her before,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
with the whole situation. Then we
Mhm.
get Emma. She's looking for Andre's father. She goes into the house. Something's thrown at her, and she sees that's Andre's dad, and he's not looking good. He's upset, obviously, about the whole thing. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
He's boozing and stuff. And what they don't go into is he was, if I remember right, go ahead and comment. He was in the hospital, right? He was sick. He was having health issues and stuff. And I think they just scrapped all of that. They're not bringing that part up anymore. So, yeah, they brought it up just for the connection. I think it was the last episode where we found out with the file and all that stuff. And it brings all this to light, the connection between Andre and his dad and the health. But he seems okay now. Yeah, he's drinking and he's sad, but no longer does he have the health issues that he was having, at least in the first season. There's just moving forward.
But then Emma tells him, she's like, "Well, Cipher is our new dean at the school, and Cipher was there. He was at Almira. Something is going on, and he's at Godolkin, and he doesn't care. The dad doesn't care. He was like, I told Andre that he was made out of steel and he was made out of flesh and blood. Like I led him down this." And Emma's trying her best to, persuade him. She's like, "Look, like we got to do something about this. He can't have died in vain. This was Vaught's fault, not yours." And he tells her to get out, but she gives him this one little pushback. She's like, if Andre was here, he wouldn't have given up like this.
Yeah. It's emotional. It's emotional time. And then poof, we're back now over where Marie is, but there's this guy who gets out of a car, gets on the ground, and starts sniffing it. And that is
Dog nut?
Dog Nut, new character, has his own powers, and I guess because he can sniff, like a dog and just track people down. Because he shows up at the same gas station, goes inside, grabs the same bag or one of the bags that Marie had touched, and walks over to the counter. But the guy knows instantly who he is. Like, "Oh, you're Dog Nut," and he says some catchphrase. I guess he also has a show. Maybe he's like, oh yeah, because they said he was like a bounty hunter. So
yeah,
think
he's
of
like dog the bounty hunter or something. But yeah, he's on her track. I mean, he sniffs the snacks that she picked up and stuff, so he's trying to find her. Then we get a cut of a fraternity, and we see like all the presidents that were of this fraternity, and they're all like the Deep back before he was the Deep,
Yeah.
which is funny. And people are turning up in the house, they're chugging beers, they're doing keg stands.
What's the dude's name? The one that got his junk ripped off, because he's there.
Oh yeah, he's there.
He's there. He gives a whole new speech to the pledges. So I guess he's part of that fraternity.
This one guy, he's putting a keg tap
Yeah,
up
with the
up his ass,
oh,
and Jordan punches him, and it
oh,
just sprays all over. People are like, I don't want to get pink eye, and this whole thing.
Oh, that's one thing with this show. It's wild with a lot of the scenes that they put out. You're like, what am I watching? You know, I mean, we all know, who can forget the whole thing with Emma on that date when he said, "Can you get small for me?" And then what Cheap does and oh, that was a wild scene. That was a wild scene.
Then Marie pushes Justine, who also like outed her in her podcast against the whole school and this whole thing, and then she runs into Sam and Marie and not Marie, Emma and Sam had a whole thing going on in the last last season.
Mhm.
So it was like she's like, you're so different. Like, what do you even care? The past. He's like, the past is the past, and she's like, Andre died. Like, you don't care about anything.
Because it's Cate. Whenever he gets stressed, she just touches his head and wipes those memories away. And that's the issue here. And I'm surprised Em hasn't put 2 and 2 together with that. Because remember, they were close. They were in a
Yeah,
relationship in
yeah, they
the
were
last
messing around
one.
for a minute.
Yeah. I think there was one episode. That's all they did. Like every
It's
time they
sad.
cut to
It's sad though, because like when Emma gets stressed out, she shrinks. Now, like that's her new way of shrinking. So she goes into the bathroom and she has to wrap herself in toilet paper. And then this cut was weird. I didn't make much sense. She like looked over and saw like this hula girl, like this Hawaii like dancer almost, put the outfit on, and then they were like throwing her like almost like a
it
beer
was like
pong.
beer pong. Yeah, they were playing beer pong. So there was a guy banging on the door because she locked the door. And he's like, I gotta get in there. And then she's in the sink and she's like, all right, whatever. And yeah, next you know, she's being tossed into a cup. And
I was like, is this like her way of getting out of this? Like, I don't.
I don't know. I don't know. That also again,
That
put
was
in the
weird.
comments if that made sense to you of what she was trying to get out of that. Because remember, she was trying to get big. She kept talking to herself, come on, and hyping herself up. You could do this, just so she get big again. And then I guess she just said, forget it. Let me just become a beer pong, a ping pong ball.
Dognut then breaks into Marie's room and he has some kind of needle thing. We don't get to see him use it, but he brought it in. I guess he wanted to either kill her or subdue her.
I think it was to do her so that way he can bring her in. If he's a bounty
That's
hunter,
fair.
he's not a killer. That's his goal, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So they start fighting. It's getting really intense in there. And then there's moments where Marie has upper hand and he has upper hand. And then it looks like he's about to inject her with this needle. And we see a blast of light. And then she gets up and we see that it's Starlight. So that's a cool little cameo.
Yeah. That was a surprise. That was a surprise.
Yeah. So this is Emma here.
You know.
This is what she was talking to the dad.
Yep. That was
but yeah, we see Starlight. Oh yeah, this is also some of these images here. Like if you look at this one, this is Jordan when they're in the cell. But yeah, so Starlight starts talking with Marie, and she's basically saying like, "I need your help." She's like, "What do you need my help for? Like, what do you need it for?" She's like, "I need any information you have on Thomas Godolkin, because he was Frederick Vault's right hand man." I think we have an audio on this.
Oh yes, we do. All right. Let me keep. Yeah, but that was that's super.
I need your help.
You need my help?
What do you know about Thomas Godolkin?
He was a white dude who founded God U.
Yeah, he was Frederick Vaught's right-hand man. Ambitious little shit. He spearheaded a research program called Project Odessa. And we think that's the main fucking reason he started the school.
What were they researching?
We don't know. But we have a source that says Vought is resuming the program. And that's why I need you to find out so we can stop it.
Okay, so how did Starlight find her?
She found her from the videos. So apparently that video of Marie beating on some people went viral because it's the whole Starlighters. And so she saw that and then she found where she was. I guess she was in so The Boys is supposed to take place in New York. It's filmed in Toronto, but they're saying they're in New York. So if this is in Jersey, it's not that far off for her to travel out there. But yeah, when she brought it up, she was like, "Hey, how'd you find me? I found you from the videos that went viral, and it said where the town was." So she just went walking around, and I guess she got lucky, at least when it comes to the exact location. But that was it.
She's also saying that like this Odessa thing could be, Homelander's nuke. They're trying to figure out exactly what this is, and it seems like neither of them have this information. But Starlight's trying to convince her, like, "Hey, we got to get something going here. Like, you can't stay out of this fight forever."
Yeah, she just wants her to go back. So for the gist of it, it's like, yeah, I just need you to get back into the school and find out what this Odessa is. I don't want to be part of there. I want to go and find my sister. Now, stop thinking about you. Stop thinking about you. Thinking about the big picture, and that's it. And then peace out. She's gone. At least for now, we don't see her.
Then we get Emma Small again. She's hanging out with this one guy, and the guy's talking about all these like shows and stuff. He's talking about like Saltburn and all these like just like actors from Euphoria and stuff, like Sydney Sweeney. He's just talking about acting. And then they look on his phone, and you see a TikTok of the whole aftermath of Marie's battle. And
yeah, it's the same video. That's the video that went viral. That's the same one.
So she realizes that, and she's like, "Oh," she steals the phone. She goes to find Jordan, and they decide. I mean, let's kind of expedite this a little bit. They decide to go to
Yeah, they go. They didn't have to go too far because they go to the same store. This is why I brought up the gas station. Went right into, said the same thing. It's like, "Hey, you seen this person?" "Yeah." "Where'd they go?" I don't know. I don't know where she went. But then sure enough, like, "Oh, look out there!" And then she's just walking right past. Like, this is just hanging out at the gas station.
It's her spawn point.
Right, that's it. Spawn point. She goes out there. They find her. They start talking to her, trying to convince her to get back to the school, figure out what's going on. No, she doesn't want to get back to this. She's looking for her sister. Cate shows up. She's like, "You brought Cate. I didn't bring Cate." Cate was following them because she overheard them at the party. So now she's there, and Marie attacks Cate. Cate goes down, and it looks she's bleeding out. Cate wants to help. I mean, Marie wants to help. Jordan and Em say, "No, you can't, because if she touches you, then there goes. She can do whatever she wants if she touches you." The only part I had issue with here is that why didn't someone else try to do it? Then take your jacket off. Take some kind of cloth. It has to be direct contact, right? And no, just to cover up the wound. No, they don't do that. They just leave her to die.
And she's like, Emma, help me, Emma. And yeah, they leave her to die. End of episode 1. Which is pretty cool.
Boom. Episode 1 out. Now we jump into episode 2. Let's get to that.
All right, so episode 2, Justice Never Forgets. Marie is trying to make a TikTok. Her acting is pretty bad, purposely. But I guess that whole idea of trying to get her back into the school would be, hey, say that everything is fine and that they were all in on this and you're now a hero as well. So it's like, because VOD is all about the optics. So it's like, what are they really going to do if she says so and so, and everyone's all happy about it?
She was like, "Yeah, everything's good. I'm better for myself." They were like in a laundromat putting this whole thing together. But no, she doesn't think it's going to work. It's like, it's all right. Got to get you back anyway. And because I think we didn't bring it up, but there was that one scene with Stacy, who's like the new school coordinator, and she's like half beat or something like that. Remember, with the tail?
Yeah.
And she's spitting out honey, and she sort of makes it seem like it was going to happen anyway. It was inevitable that she was going to come back.
To see her powers or like what she could do, but then they're making jokes and stuff. She's saying like using terms like lit and trying to be like all like trendy.
Super happy.
Yeah. Then they start talking. So Marie is now back at the school. Now she's talking with Cipher, and she's asking him what did he do at Almira, and he's kind of avoiding everything. And then they start talking about Andre, and he brings up that Andre had a condition, and he would have neural micro tears in his brain when he used his powers.
Yeah.
And they bring up a whole thing about a door.
This comes up. And it comes up a few times before. We've also heard Jordan explain this story. Again, back to the door, back at the prison, breaking some bars and then collapsing. And it's just using too much energy and goes back to this health issue. This gets brought up again to Marie by Cipher. She's not buying it. He says, "Hey, it's right all here." He brings out a file.
Yeah. So the The story with Andre is that he found some metal maintenance pipes because he can move metal stuff. He's like Magneto, right?
Yep.
Apparently, as they were trying to escape, someone had walled the pipe with brick, and instead he tried to open a steel door, and he was using all his power to try to open this door, and then he had a stroke and died.
Yeah, too much.
So,
But that's it. But now she has that story, and she's pretty much buying that. She's going with it.
So then, Cipher is like, maybe you could keep an eye on Emma and Jordan. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on here. And then he goes, oh, by the way, Cate is still alive. Which is like, uh-oh.
Yeah, she's in the hospital. But he knows. He must know because he says, oh, I know you guys are close. And don't worry. I'll make sure to let you know once everything is good. And it's like, come on now. He knows. He knows something's up. Definitely knows.
Then we get that podcaster. What was her name?
Firecracker.
She's like,
Firecracker.
She's like, this is a hate crime against superheroes, but we're all praying for you, Cate. Homelander, Jesus, and I are with you.
Yes. That was, if you remember from The Boys, they offer her whole backstory and how that worked out because she does conventions and stuff like that. It's another wild one, but it's again, this is one of those where it's tying in a lot with The Boys with these characters. So if you're for some reason only watching Gen V, this sort of gives you that incentive to watch The Boys. If that's how you, for some reason you haven't done that, but it works.
So Sam breaks into the hospital, or I guess goes into the hospital to look for Cate. Cate's knocked down. People are like, "Oh, you're not allowed to be here." He was like, "I was sent here. Like, I could find her." So then he goes over to her and he's like, "What happened? Who did this to you?" Obviously, she's not responsive. And then she grabs the arm. I guess she moves a little bit. She grabs the arm of a nurse, and she uses, I guess, her own voice through the nurse, and she starts saying, "Emma, I need you, Emma." And then manipulates the nurse to start turning around, and the nurse stabs another nurse in the eye, and it's causing this whole thing. So her powers are messed up.
Yeah, her powers are all messed up, and she also mentions later on that the doctors told her not to use her powers for a while. Yeah, and one thing that we didn't mention, and I just thought about it, it's worth mentioning though, that when Marie, after having that conversation and finding out that Cate is alive, tells Jordan and Emma that they need to finish this. They need to get rid of her, just kill her. Jordan's against it. Em's like, no, I think you're right. I think we should do this. So it doesn't really go anywhere, but that's something that they did bring up. And then, of course, this whole thing happens. But we see that she does have her powers a little scrambled from everything that's happened.
Yeah. So then... So then they go to find Andre's dad, shows up at the school now. He's going to be working there. He wants to work with Cipher. So I guess
he's
he
a
gets
professor.
hired there.
Yeah, he's going to be a professor of marketing. It's like, oh.
Yeah. But, this is his other way of keeping an eye on what's going on and wondering, trying to figure out who Cipher is.
Well, it's funny how Cipher seems to know what's in everyone else's mind and what's going on with them, but he doesn't seem to pick up any signals or red flags from Mr. Anderson here. You would think out of all of them, he would definitely pick someone else like, oh, he probably wants to know more about how his son died. But no, he doesn't care and gives him a job.
Yeah. Then we have another class that Emma is in with Modesty Monarch. Oh. She has wings. I think we had some audio from
that. Let's play this.
It's kind of funny.
I am Modesty Monarch, and I started the trad suit movement in 2018.
At the time, I had an Amazon ring light and 11 followers.
That all changed when I posted my now viral video, Super in the Streets, but Obedient in the Sheets. There was a hunger out there to see supes like me living a godly life. I take care of my man, I give him babies, I churn my own butter, and I firmly believe that feminism has ruined America.
I take care of my man and I give him babies. That was funny. Oh, man. And that's a class. That's a class.
Yeah, that's a class. That's crazy. She approaches Emma after, and she's like, hey, I need you to start posting. I want you to post a video about, Cate and and how that incident has affected you and this and that. And she's like, I don't want to post anything. I haven't posted in mad long. She's like, well, you have the 9th highest social media following on campus.
5 million subs, and
She's
it's
like, well,
inactive. Yeah.
she's like, well, I don't want to do it. She's like, well, you don't really have a choice. Like, this is, what you're supposed to be doing. There's a reason why you're in this class.
And why she was put in that class. So she said the dean made this mandatory.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know that could happen, but hey.
Then Marie makes a video also, which is in support of Cate, which is crazy. And then
everyone has to make one. Yeah, that was the whole thing. Everybody has to make a video.
Then they enter a room. It's this big room with like this big bolted door, and Cipher comes out and he's like, oh, welcome to your new class. And basically he leaves them in a room and he has people attack them, right? Or they fight each other and they have to press a button in order to get out. And those that fail or don't do good.
Oh, I think I have this.
Just cast them into the class.
Yeah, let's play it.
Used to be Big Chief Apache's Diversity and Equity Center.
Welcome to Hero Optimization. Congratulations. Out of the entire student body, I only selected some of you.
Hero optimization.
Hero optimization. I like it's just like, wasn't this Big Chief Apache's Diversity and Equity Center?
Not anymore.
Like even like nothing is saved.
Yeah, no, everything.
And they look at him like, what makes it so special? And he's like, do you know how any of your powers really work? And
I guess it makes sense if we've seen something similar to this in Harry Potter, right? Weren't they classes to show how to use the wands and to utilize the certain powers that every person had within themselves to make them better at?
I guess like the Patronus stuff, right? Or things.
Yeah,
like
so
similar fashion,
something like that. But it was like this is more brutal because, like, all right, you see all the way in the back over there's a red button. Press the red button. Oh, we could do that. Door opens and a Thor-like guy comes out with a big ass hammer, and he goes up and like, "Who are you?" And he just whacks him right in the head.
He broke this guy's spine. This whole thing.
Yeah.
He's like killing people.
Oh man,
it was cool because Marie made because they noticed that like he's really gunning for her, so you could tell that Cipher is trying to get something out of Marie with this. Obviously, he's playing it coy. He's putting everybody in there, but they're attacking her a lot more. And she made this guy's heart like skip a bunch. He was like about to pass out and stuff
because she was putting pressure on the heart. But what was so cool with this scene is that while she's putting the pressure on his heart, he's hitting his heart. He's making it beat because it's like she was trying to stop it and he was hitting it so that way it could keep pumping. And then he attacked her and started choking. So that's what it was, that he was banging his chest. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So we see Rufus. I guess that was the guy that got his junk blown up. He's bothering this. I don't know if we got her name, but he's bothering this human girl that works at the cafe.
Oh yeah, that's right. What's it called? A human girl.
We're constantly seeing Emma kind of in support of this girl. More so in the next episode, but this is where we kind of get it. And then Polarity comes out of nowhere, Andre's father, and he's like, "Hey, I'm working here." So he walks with Emma, and he's like, no one knows what Cipher's powers are, like who he is, but one day I'm gonna destroy this school. I'm gonna go to the 7th tower. I'm gonna destroy all that. And she's like, okay, like calm down. Like let's start with one thing at a time. Like we have to find this Odessa thing.
No, but he doesn't care about that as much. It's more of like just retribution for his son's death because he starts linking up all kinds of stuff. It's like, oh, it wasn't by accident. It's only my son that died. Come on now. He's going in that direction, and he's angry. He's angry, and it makes sense. But Emma is sort of thinking like Starlight, even though they didn't interact in this, where it's like, hey, look at the bigger picture. Let's find out who's running this and what they're running with the Odessa, this operation, and let's bring that down. Let's get the big picture here. But he's angry. He's angry. So I don't know if any of that stuff is going to seep in. I think it is, but we'll see.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to seep in. But then we cut to Marie and Jordan kind of having an intimate moment because in the last battle, Jordan helped her because she was getting choked out, and then Jordan pressed the button, so they were able to get out of that situation. Mm-hmm. She's like, it was a mistake leaving you. I should have come back. And then Jordan admits that she's like, I should have stopped Andre. Like when he said that he was gonna get us out, I knew that it was a bad idea, and I didn't say anything. And then she was like, well, he's so stubborn. Like, you're going to stop him from doing anything. And then they get intimate.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then
now, remember, for those if they just watching this one, they had a relationship in the first season. So this wasn't just sudden. It was just they had a relationship. And she regrets leaving and that whole thing, Marie. But she was confused. She had a lot going on and went to see her sister. And
So Emma is with Polarity, and they go to, I guess, where the records are where the records are kept in the school, and they meet this guy who is the Rememberer. He used to have a TV show.
Kyle.
He remembers every single thing. The Polarity is like, oh, I haven't seen you since this and that, and he's like, no, you saw me on this date at this time. You were wearing this. You smelled like this. It's a really, really funny movie.
Breaks everything down. Very detailed. Yeah, at first I was like, I love this power. I want this power. And then I thought about it. And I was like, yeah, maybe not.
No.
Because if you're all that useless info in your head, like let's say if you're a big commuter and you're getting on a train, crowded train, bus, whatever, and you have all this stuff in your head, and then you see one of these people in the world, and then they just probably all floods back all those memories. I don't know. But
so she's Emma's very like eccentric right now, and we had seen her take a Xanax earlier, and those who have taken Xanax know that how she's acting is quite the opposite. So she's all like high energy, feeling very kind of just being out there, and she's talking to the Rememberer, and she's like, I loved your show, and she's glazing the hell out of him, and everybody likes to be glazed in this show. So he's like, you know what, I don't let people into this without clearance, but I'll let you guys in. So
it shouldn't be too far of a stretch also, because it is a professor that's there, Mr. Anderson. So it's not like a student and some other person just wants to get in. No, he's faculty, he works there, so be cool.
Polarity's like, are you high on, like, what are you high on? And she's like, I thought I was taking Xanax, but I'm actually rolling really hard right now.
Yeah.
So they go into the room, they're looking through all this paperwork. They can't find anything on Odessa. And then I guess she hears something, since she's high and whatever, she's sensitive to something. She hears this other room. She's like, what is this room? It's like this rooming sound. It's like she's making the sounds. He uses his Polarity uses his powers to open the door. And next we find this secret chamber with like all this fascist memorabilia.
Yeah, dark past. It's a dark past. Dark past of the school. Now, this is something that a lot of people say that many old institutions would have. But they find all this stuff, and as they're going through it, there's something key that they find here, and it is a file. It is a file that says Odessa on it.
And Emma gets super excited. She gets so excited that she finds this, that she gets huge. And it causes an alarm to ring, and then the Rememberer comes in. He's like, what's going on? And she's like, I'm sorry. And when she gets huge, she loses her clothes in the same fashion as when she gets smaller, she loses her clothes. So now she's like naked, covering herself, like smiling, trying to be like not awkward about it.
Yeah, she was massive in this little room. It's really funny when they have her do all these scenes where she's getting small and big. Because earlier when she was small, running with the cell phone above her head, like, dodging around people at the party, and then to see her in this, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Then we see Sam running crazy. He runs into Emma again, and he's starting to see things again. And he's like, what did you do to Cate? Like, I know she was screaming for you. And she's like, we didn't, she's not your friend. And he's like, yes, she is. She did everything to get you out of Almira. Like, she's the reason. And she's like, no. Emma goes, no, she brainwashed you and your brother. She's not your friend. Sooner or later, you're going to have to face up to what you've done. And then you think about all the people he's killed last season and all that. Right.
It was. I don't know. I'm still not sold on this whole thing with Sam. He's too confused. We'll see in the third episode. It gets even crazier because they bring back the puppets. But this
is like near the end of the episode. Then we get a crazy broadcast saying that the people that attacked Cate, Vought handled them, and that they were Starlighters. And Dognut comes up and he's like, yeah, I found one of them and I fought him and I ended up killing him.
Because that was. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
No. Because that came up also when Jordan and Marie, well, they were just laying down because remember
Yeah, that's what I
they
was
got to the moment where Marie was she said, "I love you." She said that word. Gotta be careful with that. And Jordan seemed like she wasn't ready for that at that time to hear that word. But then, hey, they hear the fireworks and that stuff happen. But then there was another little funny scene before that with Deep, who shows up with the pledges at the fraternity.
Oh yeah.
Remember in the room, it was so off. It's like, wait, what are you doing? And he's talking to them about like how the ancestors of the group and this and that. It's like, all right, well now everybody drop your pants.
He has like a dildo or something.
Yeah, he thinks that's a massive dildo. I was like, oh, and he walks out of the room with it. Oh, that was brutal.
But the person that they killed, sadly, was the guy that helped Marie in the previous episode with the $2 and the one that she also saved. So they killed him.
And before anybody says why him, I think it's because he was in the scene. He was in the video. So it's not so much
he
of
witnessed
someone,
it. Yeah,
he witnessed it, and this helps Dognut track somebody down. Because if they want to blame someone, they could grab a rando, but it doesn't make much sense. But you see him in the video, so I guess that's how they can justify that.
So Emma runs up to Marie and she's like, "I know who Odessa is. I know who it is." And she hands her the file, and Marie's looking at it and she's like, "What?" And they're like, "Odessa is you. You're Odessa."
Dun dun dun.
Plot twist. Cate wakes up in the hospital. We see dead nurses everywhere. Cipher walks in, kind of unfazed by the whole thing, but he's like, "What did you do?" And that's the end of season episode
that's
2.
It.
That's the end of the season. Oh my god. All right.
Oh man. There we go.
Episode 3.
This is
H
is for human. Yes. Here we go. Oh man.
You want me to start it? You want to start
Yeah, you can start it. You can start it.
The human girl from the cafeteria from that little cafe spot is now on a bus. She's like nervous. She puts on her lanyard. The lanyard says H for human. There's a whole specific entrance at the school for humans. This is human entrance. They have to go through not even a metal detector. It's literally just a guy that has powers, and he's like staring at them. His eyes turn yellow, and he could like gauge if they have anything. And he spends some time looking at her. He checks her out. He bites his lip a little bit. She's super uncomfortable.
Now, the only thing and I had with this, the only issue I had with this, like, why are you working here? Why take this job? Yeah, she says later on she needs a job. Well, there's plenty of jobs. I can't imagine that this is the highest
like,
paying.
What could it be in this?
I guess, but and also, is this? She says the name of the place, but it's not the cafeteria. I thought at first it was the school cafeteria, but it's not. It's just like
there's a name to
it.
It's in something.
Yeah, it's just like a little cafe on the school premise, and that's where she works. And it's like, all right, well, if she finds something else. But yeah, once she's there, somebody is putting up a note, right? They put up the offensive note behind her.
It's not even there. Like she walks in and she sees that there's a star that says resist, and that's the symbol of the Starlighters, right? So she's like, oh no, but because she knows that it's a sour topic amongst all the soups. So she crumples it, throws it away. Some guy walks over and he's like, "What's up with that sign?" And she looks over and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "It's back up." And he's like, "You think this is funny?" He grabs her, pulls her in, and then he spits in her tip jar, and then it fizzles through the jar like acid. And
yeah, he spits acid. Oh man, I feel sorry for his toothbrush. Oh,
no matter what she does, she keeps getting rid of the papers. Something keeps putting it back really fast. So
yeah. Yeah, it's rough. But again, I would not want that job. I would not want to work in that environment because this is not the first, as we know. She's constantly getting harassed. So why bother? Move on.
Then we have Marie kind of confused. She's like, "I'm not Odessa. I didn't get I got my powers when I was a teenager." And then everyone's like, "Well, I mean, Starlight says you're a weapon." And she's like, "I'm not a weapon. Like, why would we trust Starlight?" And everyone's like, "Well, we should trust Starlight." And then this is a good point. She's like, why would she show up, talk about Odessa, and then you're Odessa? Like, what are the odds of that?
But she doesn't know. If she knew, then she would have just said, "Hey, you're coming with me because I need you as leverage." Meaning Starlight would have kept Marie, Yeah. She would have just said it. That makes no sense. She doesn't know. But also, Marie is a weapon. The fact that she can do all that with her blood, and stuff, come on now. That she can weaponize blood. That's a serious weapon.
But now she's starting to process her childhood, and she's trying to wonder, like, okay, is there someone I could talk to that would know more about this thing? And she's like, well, my mom's best friend, my aunt Pam. Maybe I could speak with her, but she hasn't
Family,
spoken.
best friend, not really blood related.
She hasn't
you know.
spoken with me, and since
Mhm.
all that happened, she wanted nothing to do with me. So, and then she walks out with Jordan, and they're making jokes like, "Well, what if you're Odessa? You're the chosen one." She's like, "I'm not the chosen one." She's like, "You're like Frodo or Neo or like Harry Potter." Like,
No. She's not feeling that she's in that group yet. But you have a superpower. That is an amazing superpower. And they just like brush it off like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. I don't get that.
but Cate comes back to school. She gets out of a black van or whatever. Everyone's all grouping around her, taking pictures. Some people are wearing beanies to kind of like replicate her style. Then we get that bee lady, and she's like, "Watch the stinger! Watch the stinger! You want to die? Move out of the way!" She grabs Cate.
Wouldn't she die? Isn't that how that works?
For bees, yeah, I think
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like, so you watch out. Then you're done. But
so then Cate sees the three of them. She sees Marie, Jordan, and Emma all together, and they're all like, "Hey, Cate, how are you?"
Oh man, they just planned it up.
And she's like, "Yeah, at least the perpetrators were brought to justice." And then Kate's like, "Yeah, they're animals."
She knows, and she can't do anything about it because they all have to play nice. You can't say that it's soup on soup crime type of deal. That breaks the narrative of what they're going with here. So they're not going to bring it up, and so she just has to suck it up.
Then they're back in that class with Cipher. Marie is literally just one-on-one with a battle with this girl. She slices her hand open. That's how she accesses her powers. She hog ties the girl, and then Cipher comes up and he's like, "What's up with the cutting?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, why do you have to cut yourself? That's so like human and kind of like pain. That's a pain kind of thing." And she's like, "I'm not doing it purposely. Like I have to do this to use my powers." He's like, "I don't know."
Well, how else is the blood gonna come out? Like that's I never saw it in the light that he's bringing it up. It's
Yeah,
like,
are you
oh, this is
self-harming yourself?
sadistic. You're cutting yourself. Like, well, I have blood that I use as a weapon. Yeah, I gotta get it out. It's like it's not like something you can just squeeze and it pops out. No.
He's like, "I don't know. You're just not, you don't believe it up here." And then he says soups are outnumbered 10 million to 1. If humans go against us, we're screwed. Which I mean,
Yeah.
you believe that? Like, I don't
I don't believe. But here's the one little thing that they brought up, made no sense to me. Em opted out of this class. Remember, she said, "Yeah, I'm not doing it." Then how come Marie couldn't do that? Can you just do
maybe
that?
deep
Can you
down
just
she's
opt out?
curious about her powers, and
I guess
maybe at
you
the same token she's trying to appease a Cipher and get to know him more.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I guess if we're still going that she is going to help Starlight, and Starlight said, "Hey, I need you to get close to find out how things work," and saying, "Yeah, it makes sense. Hey, we take the class that the dean is in charge of. Yeah, go with it. All right, that's it."
Then we get Sam outside. He's hanging out with what's her name, Justine. She's like rambling on about stuff. She's like, me getting you. Like, she's like, "You really need to chill." And he's literally just like rocking back and forth. And she just doesn't care. And she's like, "Me getting with you didn't even get me that many followers." And he just like does not care. And then he's looking over his sandwich, his tuna sandwich, starts talking crap to him,
calling him a loser and stuff.
Then he throws it in the garbage, and the garbage starts shitting on him. And then it's this whole thing. And then all of a sudden, he's just like, the sun is talking about conspiracy theories as a puppet, and he's freaking out.
And I mean that the first season, that one episode where everything went into puppet mode when we were in his head, that was a fantastic episode. That was nuts. So I'm glad to see it popped up here again. It's sad that he's dealing with all this mental health issues here, but it is fun to watch. It's like, oh man.
Then we get Marie and Jordan talking, and Marie's feeling a little awkward for saying that she loved her or them, and Jordan's like, "No, it's all right, And then Marie admits, like, I was a virgin before this, like you're the first person. And then Jordan's like, "Oh, come on, you can't sleep with the first person and tell them that you love them. Like, that's crazy." She's like, "What? What is like?" It's like,
Yeah.
And then she turns around and sees posters of herself, almost like Homelander usually is. And they come up to her and they're like, You're number one. You're ranked number one.
Yeah, Stacy, the B lady. Yeah, it's like the ranks, because they're all big on the ranking. It's all about the numbers. And right now, Jordan is number one in the numbers. I don't know how that happens because she said she's not that active on social.
Yeah, I was like,
just like M. They're not that active.
I think it's the return and the whole conversation about them returning back from everything that they went through. And there's the process of like their powers being cool and stuff. I mean, I could see it being like a thing.
Yeah.
But we get Cipher again talking with Cate, kind of like the first episode. And she's like, I want you to tell Vaught about Jordan, Emma, and Marie, and how they tried to kill me. And he's like, yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. She's like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, we're not going to tell Vaught that. Like, we're just going to keep going. And she's like, well, if not, then I'm going to tell Homelander. And he's like, yeah, call him up. He's going to be like, oh, yeah, that happened? And what happened with your powers because of everything that happened in the hospital? And then he's going to flip the narrative and be like, you know, you're losing your edge. And if you don't have your powers, you're worthless to me.
Yeah, that was, again, it kept bringing up that story, bringing up the story. But the big takeaway here was what Cate saw, that vault.
Yeah.
That big vault door. It's been there. I don't think this is a new wing in the school, so it's not like this is something that they just built for
is
him.
Is it school or is it his house? I can't.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You know, I take that back. I think it was his house. That's right, because she went to visit him. It looked like it was in a house. Okay, forget that.
Yeah, so he has a vault, and he's like, you need help finding your way out.
It's got a big vault, like a bank type vault. It's like,
yeah.
Whoa.
So again, yeah, Jekyll and Hyde type of thing going on.
Yeah.
He has to lock himself up. Then we have Jordan looking at all this cool stuff. Now that they're number one, this guy comes over and he's like, yo, can I take a picture with you? They take pictures and he's like, can you switch? And he tells them to leave him alone. And then they're like, we want you to be, we want all this trans inclusive branding for you. And then they're like, I'm not trans, I'm bi-gendered. Like, yeah, no, we're going to go with that.
Yeah, no. Was it as you're not, appreciative, trans appreciative, something. She made trying to make some sly joke, this Stacy, about the whole thing. Just appreciate it. You know, appreciate the attention, appreciate everything that we're offering you. You know, the typical suck it up buttercup type of thing. Just do it. Which she does to a point.
Yeah, she kind of just rolls with it.
Yeah.
Then we have Cate walk over to Emma, grabs her, doesn't do anything to her, but just grabs her and she's like, you know, how would you feel if the person you tried to kill you and left you for dead is around you all the time? And then you know, Emma's kind of funny. She's like, well, that was technically Jordan and Marie, not me. So, and then Cate realizes that and just lets her go and walks off. And then she walks over to the place is called the Cheddar Bean.
The Cheddar Bean.
That's what I have in my notes. I could be wrong.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm fine. Let's go with it. The little coffee shop with the human.
Yeah. She's talking to the human girl. Like, human girl's like physically like looking nervous. She sees the letter, that same post-it, and she's like, no, I didn't post it. She's like, no, calm down. Like, I don't care about that. And she's like, people are threatening me. You know, I'm being threatened with harassment, assault. I can't sleep. I'm panicking all the time.
Before we go any further, did you understand when Emma said I needed 17 muffins for a party? Like, what? Did I miss something? When did they say they were going to throw a party?
Yeah, when that she's like, I need something for. I'm having a muffin party.
Yeah, and she needed 17 of them.
She's gonna eat them. Oh, because she's gonna eat them so that she could get bigger or something like that, just in case.
There's
something to do with eating, because she whenever she goes small, she gets like really hungry.
Maybe. Okay. Well, just go. Hey, in the comments, people.
She said she had to vomit a bunch when she got smaller. Because Polarity brings it up later, like, and she's like, "Oh well, that's an old thing that I used to do."
Okay. All right. Well, whatever. I wasn't sure if I missed something when she said she needed the 17, because she's never needed any of that type before. So I thought maybe there was a party. Oh man, I forgot to see. Maybe they're setting something up. But all right.
But they took down the poster, and then we see like someone speed past the poster, and the poster moves a little bit, and she's like, "Oh, it's the speedster!" So she like runs after this person, and she sees like spray paint that they're like throwing out in the garbage, and she's running after them. They go into like a whole men's locker room. We see all these guys. She taps someone's shoulder and then shoots a fireball at her. And M gets thrown across the room. She's like, "What am I dealing with right now? Like, whose power is this?"
Yeah, they say all these guys walking around naked. Everybody walking around. And then you brought it up before on her way there when she was chasing. It was like playing pinball. She just bumped into every person.
Yeah,
that was on that path. Like boom, 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 boom. I was like, come on now, dodge and weave. Come on.
Kate's then looking at her scar. She like takes off the beanie. She's a bad cut in the back of her head. And then Sam knocks on the door and she's like, please, like, not now. And he's like, I need you to help me. Like, I'm going crazy. She's like, the doctors don't want me touching anybody. Like, I can't help you with my powers. And he's like, please, like, I can't handle this right now. And he starts freaking out. It's getting really bad. And then I guess he starts destroying his room.
No, it looked like he went out to the communal space. If this is like a dorm, right? Because it was like a couch he picked up, and I don't know.
It looks like one of the rooms or something because they have like
a
nice
massive room. That was
they all have like really nice rooms.
They all have nice rooms. All right.
But
Well, maybe
he was demolishing his stuff. He was breaking things. Jordan comes in. He's like, "What are you doing?" They start fighting. They're breaking through walls and this whole thing. And then Jordan's like, I need you to calm down. Like, stop attacking the people that want to help you.
Yeah. It got brutal for a while. Yeah. But what I didn't understand is once they were done, he just chilled out. Like, all right. And he sits down. No campus security. Nobody coming over with
all superheroes. They can all handle themselves.
Yeah, still, we got Nosy Stacy over there, the Bumblebee over there rolling. She could have shown up. Hey, if everything's okay, what's happening? No. And again, they're nice and clean. She was getting tossed. Jordan was getting slammed all over the place. Should be a mess. You should be dirty. Your hair should be all over the place. Nope. That's just me nitpicking. But I wanted to see some kind of dishevelment on both of these characters. But no, they're cool. They're fine. They're sitting down outside.
They just clean themselves off. But Marie then goes to visit Pam, her so-called aunt, close friend of her mom's. She rings the bell. I mean, she's really awkward about it. They're like, who is it? She tells her who it is. And then she's like, well, just don't call me aunt, okay?
Yeah.
And she walks in and she's being, I guess, kind of cordial. She's like, I heard about your jail stuff. I was worried about you. And then Marie brings up, like, I've been looking for Annabeth. Have you heard from her? And Pam's like, oh, no, nothing at all. I don't know.
No, lost contact.
Then she's like, well, does the name Odessa mean anything to you? And she's like, no, but this picture that you have of us was taken in the fertility clinic.
Yeah, because she showed a picture. She was like, all right, this is all I have. And then I have this audio here just for that because you brought the clinic.
Yep. What clinic? The fertility clinic, where you were conceived. I'm sorry. I was conceived at a clinic?
At Godolkin University. Jackie and Malcolm tried for years to get pregnant. IVF was too expensive. Vought came along and it seemed like a miracle.
Wow. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, all these bombshells are happening right now, and then they're looking at the photos, and she's like, "Well, I have some more photos." She brings over a little package with photos,
envelope of photos, yeah.
And they're looking through, and which made me miss those, which is crazy. Like I feel like we don't do that as much, right?
No, we don't. No one does because we all have them on our phones or stored elsewhere digitally.
I found a bunch of them from my childhood, and I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." But like, yeah, we don't have that. But anyways, they're looking through, and she sees a photo of Cipher holding her as a baby, and she's like, "Who's this?" And her aunt's like, "Oh, that's Dr. Gold.
Dr. Gold.
He delivered you."
Isn't that crazy? Now, it was really quick with that image. We should have paused it just to see. Does he look younger, older? He looked the same.
Yeah, I guess he kind of did look the same. I
mean,
maybe
that's
a little younger. He probably had less facial hair or something.
I'm just wondering because maybe he can't age. Maybe it's one of those.
Oh, that would be cool.
It's like he's a forever guy or something like that. But
then we have Emma in Polarity's class. He's talking about marketing and how he makes like 9 figures in this, like making 9 million. I don't. What did he say?
He said some billion or something. So obviously
he said 9 figures, right?
Yeah, he said some ridiculous amount. But then he's like also saying, "Yeah, I know a lot of you aren't even going to come close to that. So don't think you can do what I did." But it was just kind of funny. It was an electro hall. I've had those type of classes.
Yeah. But Emma scans the room and she sees this girl that has like yellow spray paint on her hands. And she's like, "Oh, I got you." So she goes behind her and kicks her. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I know it was you." And they go out into the hallway. The girl has a tail. She's like, but she's like, "I don't understand how you're able to run fast and this and that." And they go into a closet and she's like, "It was me." She's like, I'm a chameleon. She's like, if I touch someone, I get their powers for 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh yeah, let me see." So she touches her arm and she turns small. And she's like, "Wow." And then she gets big again. And
that is a very useful.
That is useful.
That is a very useful skill, very power. I think it can work in so many different ways. So, I'm surprised we're just seeing that now.
Yeah, we found out her name is.
Was it Allie?
No, Allie's her friend.
Harper.
Yeah,
Harper. Mm-hmm.
And she's a part of the Starlights. The Starlighters, and she's been posting the things and rebelling and spray painting and all that.
She was friends with Justine.
Oh yeah,
in the first, and I don't remember too much, but M did bring that up. I was like, how did you even get involved in this? You were all about Justine doing all this stuff, and so
then this is the craziest part. I think we're back with Marie, and she's looking at all the photos. She sees pictures of her mom. And then she remembered something that Pam had said earlier where she was like, "I have a book club meeting in a little bit." So she's like, "Don't you have that book club meeting?" And Pam's like, "I do, yeah." So Marie's like, "Oh, okay, can I use your restroom?" And as she's walking to the restroom, she sees a room, a girl's room. And she walks in and she's looking around. Everything's kind of like untouched, almost neatly kept. And she sees pictures of her sister. And it says, "Happy birthday, Annabeth." And Pam's like, "What are you doing? Get out of the room." And she's like, "You know where she is." And she's like, "She doesn't want to talk to you. We were scared of you. You killed your parents." And she's like, "I was a young girl on my period. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't choose this. They chose this for me. My parents chose this for me. In fact, I didn't do this."
Well, because she was saying, "Pam, you told my sister I was a monster, that I'm a killer. You just said it to my face. It's like, I had no control over this. This is not my doing. I didn't ask for my parents to pump, compound V in me. That was their choice, and this is what happened. So don't blame me. Blame them then." So that was rough.
We're slightly near the end here. Sam and Jordan are smoking. They're watching Vault Kids, which is the puppet show, and we could kind of see why Sam associates his panic attacks with the puppets and things. It's like his way of trying to calm down, but also this thing is criticizing him in some way. So, but they're smoking and they're enjoying it, and they're bringing up Andre, and Andre's brought up a lot. Like Marie thinks of Andre because she later even meets this girl Allie and finds out that Harper and Allie are kind of doing microaggressions against the school and trying to fight against Vaught and stand up for Starlight. She says something as well here. She goes, "Someone told me that I was a hero, and I didn't start to see it until they told me, and I started to believe it." So they kind of have, Jordan has a similar conversation here with Sam, like, your brother is a good guy. He loved you. And Sam admits that like he had a lot of confidence in his brother and he felt safe with his brother.
Yeah. Because he says he sometimes hears his brother in his head, sort of like a Dexter and his father Harry. He just like manifests him in his head and like has these conversations. But then again, he also does that with the puppets. So he's got some issues. Sam over here has got some stuff, but they have a good bonding moment. They're buds. They're friends. And they watch another episode.
But they talk, they say something where Sam was like, I wish I could have told him, if I had only 5 more minutes, I would have told him how much I loved him. And he's like, "What would you have said to Andre?" And Jordan's like, "I would have played Madden with him and probably told him I loved him." And so the last scene, we get Marie looking for Jordan. Jordan runs up and she's like, "I love you." It's like, "What?" He's like, I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I don't know anything right now. Very like typical cliche, got a like young youth love thing, which is like, "I love you." And
plus she's a little high,
she's
smoking up. That plays a part into it. So
it's like, if we don't know what's gonna happen today, tomorrow, I don't want to regret anything. Then Cipher comes up and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna have our number one student come up, number one ranked, Jordan." Jordan comes up to speak.
Perfect timing though. Like that's the whole thing with all this. Is a perfect time because right before this we had that. I'm pretty sure I had this written down. That real quick meeting with Allie, Harper,
Yeah,
And
I was saying that too.
yeah, and doing that whole thing, they're gonna work together to try to do some sabotage as opposed to just doing spray painting and stuff. Try to really bring things down. But yeah, they just show up at this event, the 60th anniversary for the school, and that's when she's there. It's like, hey, Jordan, get on stage. Jordan gets on stage and starts off with, I guess, the speech. The whole
We're all
thing.
assigned awesome at birth, and
Yeah.
it's transtastic, and then it's just like awkward.
Now she's saying this as the male version.
Then he
yeah,
switches, and then she's like, Andre Anderson is dead, and everyone's like, oh, whoa, what? And she goes like, if he were here today, he'd want me to be honest. His powers killed him, and Vought doesn't want you to know that. Andre died because he was trying to be free, and the Starlights are scapegoats. Vought did this. Vought killed those people. Vought murdered them. They didn't attack Cate. I did.
Yeah, and then they show Cate in the crowd, and she's staring. She's like, "Oh wow, all right."
So maybe that reverses things with Cate, and she'll start to like them.
I mean, I think so. I think Kate's gonna play a key role. They could have just killed her off in that one scene there.
Could have killed her off in the first season.
Oh yeah. There was multiple times they could have just got that one done.
Yeah, pretty seamless and flowing. I know we went a little bit over the hour that we wanted, but three episodes.
Yeah, we wanted to get this little show, but hey, hopefully, if you stuck it around, thanks. Now you know our style, our format. If you are new, if you're not, you already know how this works. Thanks again for sticking with us. Give a like, give a subscribe. We're covering other shows. We still have the Terminal List, Dark Wolf going on. We're finishing up Chief of War. By the time this drops, we'll be going into the last episode of season 1 with that. So yeah, stick around. Thanks a lot for the support, and we will be back. When will we be back? We'll be back sometime during the week, as I said. We just got a bunch of stuff. So again, thanks. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you guys later. All right. Peace.